If your manager says no concerns out loud and then documents concerns later, pay attention to this, right? Because that's not miscommunication, it's a signal. I'm Noelle and I spent 30 years in executive HR, and here's the truth, right? What your manager says out loud isn't feedback, it's reassurance until it's not. Because what shows up in writing is the real move, and it's called narrative adjustment. And here's how it works, right? Here's what they do. In the conversation, the actual discussion that you have with your manager, everything is fine, cool, your manager seems okay, right? But in the recap, the follow up from that same manager, it turns into just a few areas to watch, things to be mindful of, noting for your records. And that shift is deliberate because spoken reassurance doesn't travel, but written language does. And once something exists on paper, it no longer matters how supportive the conversation sounded. That doesn't matter anymore. And this is where people make a critical mistake because they respond to the sentence instead of noticing the sequence. There's a move, and using it at the wrong moment makes things worse. It's neutral, professional, aligned, not corrective. But hear this, right? Hear it carefully. Once documentation accelerates, alignment stops being cooperation and starts being consent. Silence becomes agreement, professionalism becomes compliance. That's how it works. And this is one slice of a much larger pattern. And this is where people get trapped. They focus on what was said and they miss the starting play altogether. Because the system doesn't win because it's unbeatable. It wins because most people never see the game that they play. That's the thing. And if you think the recap email was the moment, then you missed the main move itself altogether. And that's why seeing the sequence matters, not to clean up what was said, but to recognize where you actually are, because that's where professionalism gets mistaken for safety.